How did it all come to this? How did my life fall apart so quickly? Peter, please. I've stood by you through everything. We're a family, don't do this to us.
A family? You're a failure, Joyce. You're useless, always depending on me for everything. No wonder I found someone better.
Hey, good morning honey, are you still arguing with this pointless good-for-nothing woman? Just throw her out with her little brats.
Get out of my house. Take your brats with you. I don't care where you go, just leave.
Peter, the kids need their father. Think about them.
Daddy, please don't kick us out of the house. We're family. Lisa and I need you.
Yes, Daddy. Please don't do this to us. We don't love seeing you fighting with Mom. Don't do this to us.
Peter, please, listen to your kids. They need their father in their life.
They're your problem now. You and your kids are nothing but baggage. Get out now.
How could he do this to us? After everything I gave up for him. Now this rent is overdue. I'm supposed to pay by tomorrow or I will be evicted. What do I do? My kids need to eat too.
Mom, are you okay?
I'm fine, Grace. Don't worry about me.
Mom, it's okay to cry. But remember, you always tell us that God has a plan for everything. Maybe this is part of His plan too.
Ben.
You taught us about the widow in the Bible, remember? She thought she had nothing, but God provided for her. Maybe He's going to do the same for us.
We love you, Mommy. God loves you too.
You two are my greatest blessings. Thank you for reminding me that God is still with us. Lord, I don't know how to move forward. But Ben reminded me of the widow. She thought she had nothing, but you asked her, "What do you have in your house?" Could this be what you're telling me, Lord? Have I been blind to what I already have?
Joyce, you look like you've been through so much. What's on your mind?
Ruth, I don't even know where to start. Peter left me with nothing. The rent is overdue, and I don't have a job. I feel like I've failed my kids.
Joyce, you haven't failed. You've just hit a rough patch. Remember, God's strength is made perfect in our weakness.
It's hard to see His strength when all I see is weakness, Ruth. I prayed, I fasted, but nothing changed.
Joyce, sometimes God doesn't change the situation immediately because He wants to change us first. He wants to show us what we're capable of.
But what do I have, Ruth? What can I do?
Let's start small. What are you good at? What's something you've done that made you feel proud?
Well, I used to cook for church events. People always said they loved my food, especially my mandazes.
That's it. Joyce, you can start selling mandazes. Everyone loves them, and you can start right from home.
Selling mandazes? Ruth, do you think that's enough to make a difference?
Joyce, God doesn't ask us to have everything figured out. He just asks us to trust Him with what we have. Remember the widow in 1 Kings? She only had a little oil, but when she obeyed, God multiplied it.
I've taught my kids that story so many times, but now it feels like God is asking me the same question. What do you have in your house?
Exactly. You have your hands, your skills, and your faith. That's more than enough for God to work with.
Okay, Ruth. I'll try. But I'll need your help.
You've got it, Joyce. We'll start by making a small batch tomorrow morning.
Kids, I have something to share. Remember the story of the widow I told you about?
The one who trusted God with her oil.
Yes, just like God used her oil, I believe He's going to use what we have. Tomorrow, we're going to start a small business selling mandazes.
Mandazes, Mommy?
Yes, Grace. It's what I know how to do, and it's how we'll trust God to provide for us. But we need to work together as a team.
I can help. I'll carry the mandazes to people's houses.
And I'll help pack them.
You two are my biggest blessings. With your help, I know we can make this work. And remember, God is with us every step of the way. Lord, I don't know what this year holds, but I trust you. Use the little I have to make a way for my children and me. Help me be faithful in the small things, and I know you'll do the rest. Eat up, my blessings. Today is going to be a great day.
Mommy, can we help you pack the mandazes?
Of course. Let's do it together.
Have you tasted Joyce's mandazes? They're amazing. I heard she makes them fresh every morning. I will buy more tomorrow.
Look at this, kids. God has been so faithful. We've made more than I expected today.
Mommy, does this mean we can buy new school shoes soon?
Yes, Ben. And maybe even a little treat for all of us.
Joyce. Is that really you? You look amazing.
God is good, Ruth. He's really been faithful.
You know what, let's go and I want to hear more. I still can't believe it. The last time you came to me, you were so worried about everything. But look at you now. You've completely changed.
I was scared, Ruth. I had nothing but a little jar of oil, some flour, and my kids. But I remember the story of the widow in 2 Kings, how God multiplied what she had. And that kept me going. I took that first step in faith, even when it didn't make sense.
And look at where you are now. You've turned that small beginning into something so beautiful.
You know, Ruth, for the first time in a long time, I have peace. I've learned what it means to have a heart that expects from God, even in the hardest times. It's not always easy, but I've realized that even when things didn't work out the way I hoped, I had to keep expecting. Keep trusting.
That's powerful, Joyce. You've learned to hold on to God's promises, no matter what.
Even as we're talking now, my kids just went back to school after staying home for a long time. When my husband kicked us out, I didn't know what would happen. But now, everything's different. They're back in school, and they lack nothing. I just came from the bank, paid their school fees, cleared everything for the term. And you know what else? I bought a new house. Can you believe it? I live a life now that's better than when I was with my husband. It's incredible.
Wow, Joyce. That's a testament to what happens when you trust God with everything. When you expect from Him, even in the hardest moments.
I feel so blessed, Ruth. I wake up every day grateful, even when I face challenges. God has truly provided. My life today, my kids, my home, everything, it's a blessing. I'm happy. I'm living the life I prayed for.
And you deserve it, Joyce. You've worked hard, trusted God, and now you're living out His promises.
It's all God, Ruth. He's the one who opened doors I didn't even know existed. And I'm just so thankful.
You're living proof that when you expect from God, He will never let you down. And you're going to keep inspiring so many people who feel like they've lost everything, like there is no way out. But you've shown them that with God, anything is possible.
I just want to encourage them to keep expecting. No matter where they start, God will make a way. He always does.
You're a living testimony, Joyce. And I know your story will touch many hearts.
Thank you, Ruth. You've always believed in me. I needed to hear this today. It's hard to believe how far I've come. Just a few months ago, I thought my world had ended. My husband left, I had nothing to my name, and my children were out of school. But God. Oh, God. He reminded me through His Word that He is a provider, even in the most hopeless situations. These hands. They've been through so much. There was a time I didn't think they were capable of anything meaningful. But now, when I look at them, I see how God has used them to rewrite my story. From kneading dough to frying mandazes, these hands became a part of His plan, something bigger than I could have imagined. And my children. My greatest blessings. They're not here with me right now, they're back in boarding school, thriving, learning, and continuing their journey. I'll never forget how I used to worry about their future. But God made a way. Their fees are paid, they lack nothing, and they're living the life I always prayed they would. Just thinking about it fills my heart with gratitude. You know, I've learned something through all of this. No matter how bad things get, never stop expecting from God. Even when the world turns against you, even when you feel abandoned or afraid, keep expecting. Keep trusting. Because when God shows up, He doesn't just meet your needs. He exceeds them. Today, I'm living proof of that. I have peace, joy, and provision beyond anything I imagined. He's faithful. So if you're watching this and you feel like giving up, don't. These hands of mine didn't just make mandazes, they made hope, they made faith, they made a way forward, because I trusted in the one who holds everything in His hands. Start this year with expectation. Keep believing, keep trusting, and let God surprise you. He's not done with you yet.
The story you've just watched reminds us of a powerful lesson from the Bible in 2 Kings 4, 1-7, the story of the widow and the jars of oil. This woman found herself in a desperate situation, much like Joyce. She was in debt, her children were at risk, and she had no idea how she would survive. But instead of giving up, she sought help from the prophet Elisha, who instructed her to gather as many empty jars as possible and pour out the little oil she had left. To her amazement, God multiplied what seemed so small and turned it into enough to provide for her and her family. Just like the widow, Joyce didn't let her circumstances define her future. She trusted in God, took a small step of faith, and worked with what she had. And look at what happened. God multiplied her efforts and blessed her beyond what she could have imagined. As we step into 2025, I want to encourage you to approach this year with a heart full of expectation. Don't let the disappointments of 2024 hold you back. Maybe things didn't go as planned last year, but remember, God can do immeasurably more than you can ask or think. Approach this year just like a pregnant woman, filled with hope, excitement, and anticipation for what's to come. The same God who provided for the widow and blessed Joyce can also turn your situation around. All you need is faith and a willingness to trust in Him. If this story has inspired you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and let us know in the comments how you're starting this year with expectation. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more stories of hope and inspiration. Thank you for watching, and may 2025 be a year of miracles, breakthroughs, and blessings for you and your family. Until next time, stay expectant and stay blessed.